A joyful event happened in a large picturesque nature reserve in southern China. The elephant Mei-Mei finally had her first baby. The newborn baby elephant was named Chang. It was a real holiday for the staff. They watched with delight and awe the majestic Mei-Mei and her so far awkward baby. She seemed like a good, affectionate mom. Her instincts told her how to take care of the cub. Chang followed his mother everywhere, clinging to the tip of her tail with his trunk, as all baby elephants did. Sometimes Mei-Mei would take a handful of sand and carefully sprinkle it on Chang to mask his scent from predators. They spent hours walking around the spacious territories of the reserve. The baby elephant was sweetly reaching out to his mother with his trunk and caressing. The bond between mother and child seemed unbreakable. But soon a terrible thing happened. That day, little Chang faced the greatest injustice. The staff of the reserve could not believe their eyes. Always so calm and caring, Mei-Mei began to behave very strangely and even rudely with the baby. She became agitated and aggressive for no reason. Pushing the cub away, her behavior caused serious concern. But people decided not to interfere yet. They hoped that nature would prevail. They waited for what would happen, but it almost became a fatal mistake. Chang was very lucky to have several employees looking after them that day. They were nearby when Mei-Mei suddenly attacked baby Chang. Hitting him hard with her trunk, she knocked down the baby elephant and tried to crush him with her weight. The distraught elephant seemed to have completely forgotten about their blood connection. The scariest thing was that an adult elephant weighed almost 3 tons, while her child barely weighed 100 kilograms. He had no chance to survive. The frightened, traumatized baby elephant looked at his mother with pain in his eyes, but did not even try to run away and hide. He just didn't understand how he deserved such treatment. He must have believed that soon his beloved mother would calm down and everything would be as before. The staff realized that they urgently needed to intervene before the baby elephant died. An enraged elephant could simply trample him. Acting quickly and carefully, the staff separated the elephants and took the baby to a fenced enclosure. For several long hours they comforted him, stroking and whispering various kind words, and then helped him to eat. Mei-Mei calmed down by herself and returned to the herd as if nothing had happened. She was calmly walking with her relatives, forgetting about the baby elephant, and did not look at all like a mother missing a child. Unfortunately, things were different with Chang. He desperately missed his beloved mother and wanted to return to her. The baby elephant wandered around the enclosure in confusion, trying to find her. Concerned employees conferred and decided that it was too early to give up on Mei-Mei. Her aggression could be a temporary phenomenon. Perhaps she was under a lot of stress, or something else influenced her behavior. No one knew the real reason. It remained to speculate. Chang and his mother were kept apart from each other for several days. The staff took care of the baby elephant and fed it, watching from afar how Mei-Mei behaves. She seemed to have returned to her normal state, and soon even began to show concern, as if she missed the baby and was trying to find him. This picture warmed the employees' hearts. They had hope. When Chang recovered from his bruises, they decided to return him to his mother. The staff sincerely hoped that the maternal instinct would take over, and the elephant would take care of Chang as before. When Chang saw his mother again, he joyfully ran towards her, comically flapping his big ears and lifting his trunk high. It was as if he had forgotten about that terrible incident, but his fearlessness was just a child's innocence. Spontaneous, like all children, he was drawn to the most beloved creature in the world. The staff watched the animals with bated breath. Mei-Mei also warmly welcomed the cub. She gently touched him with her long trunk and even allowed him to suck milk. This was supposed to strengthen their almost broken bond. The staff breathed a sigh of relief. It seemed like the nightmare was over. Maybe Mei-Mei just had a hard day, or she wasn't ready for motherhood. The main thing is that everything is fine now. But their family idyll did not last long. Just 4 days later, Mei-Mei brutally attacked Chang again. Fortunately, employees were again nearby, who rushed to the elephant's aid. The elephant threw the baby with all her might with her trunk and wanted to trample on it. The frightened baby elephant screamed and tried to get up, but fell awkwardly to the ground, kicking up dust. Looking at this heartbreaking sight, the staff rushed to the elephants, risking their own lives. In anger, the elephant could have accidentally maimed them, but by some miracle everything worked out. People managed to drive Mei-Mei away and take Chang to the aviary to inspect. His whole body was covered in cuts and bruises, but there were no serious injuries. Perhaps there will be scars on his thick skin, reminders of an unhappy childhood, but he survived, and that's the main thing. The situation with Mei-Mei was a big blow to everyone. There was no reason to think that the elephant would ever take Chang back. They decided to separate them forever, for the common good. Although the elephant couldn't understand what all these people were talking about, he broke the employees' hearts with his behavior. Scared and unhappy, Chang constantly cried like a human child. Large tears flowed from his reddened eyes, hidden in thick leathery folds. He missed his mother, even though she had tried to kill him twice and even wounded him. But he still loved her unconditionally and wanted to be with her. The sight of this abandoned cub would have touched the most callous heart. But the reserve staff could no longer risk the elephant's life. If no one was around during the next outbreak of aggression, Chang would simply die. Reluctantly, they watched the crying baby elephant, but did not allow it to approach Mei-Mei. And during this difficult period, the baby elephant suddenly had a dad, in the person of the kind and patient caretaker of the reserve Lu Zhao. Out of compassion for little Chang, he began to take care of him, feeling how gradually a special bond was forming between them. Lu Zhao and Chang spent whole weeks in each other's company. When tears flowed from the baby elephant's eyes again, Lu Zhao did not hesitate to cry with him and hug him, trying to comfort the orphaned baby. Lu Zhao decided to take care of Chang for as long as needed. The man felt that it was his duty. He surrounded the baby with attention, trying to make up for the lack of maternal love, which he desperately needed. The baby elephant trusted him. Even though Lu Zhao was not an elephant, Chang was just glad that there was a living being next to him who loved him and would never hurt him. Veterinarians monitoring the elephant's well-being supported Lu Zhao's decision to take care of him. Growing up, male elephants always leave their native herd and go exploring territories alone. But as he gets older, Chang can find the company of other young elephants, make friends with them, and even assemble his bachelor gang. One day Chang will grow up and forget that his own mother rejected him. And until then, he will always have the devoted and caring Lu Zhao by his side. What do you think is the reason for the elephant's behavior towards her own child? Postpartum depression? Or maybe some kind of deviation? People also have similar cases, although it is cruel and unfair, but fortunately, in this story the baby was saved,